back again, you beautiful people, reacting to another creator who managed to go over to the Funcom studio and play Dune Awakening. There is many of videos that I've been releasing where we're going over all of the creator gameplay that we can see, and we're reacting to it, seeing what we can pick apart. And if you haven't watched any of the other videos, they are on my channel, and it's the two most recent videos before this one. And I'm literally going to be watching every single video, gameplay, anything that we can find about Dune Awakening, because I'm super excited for this game. Let me know in the comments down below how excited you are for the game. And I do personally believe the game is going to be coming out extremely soon, because press have been reviewing it and doing all their thing, and creators have been able to release content based on the gameplay. They're saying some people that have been playing the beta for over 400 hours have been able to release some footage. So without further ado, let's jump into this footage and let's see what this guy thought and saw in the game and what we can pick out from it. So like all the other videos, this person is Irene, and I'm going to have the link in the description. So if you want to go and watch the real original video, then feel free to do so. I'm going to be reacting to it. I'm going to make sure I give a subscribe and a like. If you enjoy the video, make sure you go to his channel and do the same to be able to watch all of his content when it comes out. And if you want to see all the other videos that I'm going to be releasing, whether it's Dune or any other game, and you like this type of content, make sure you go ahead and hit that notification bell and subscribe to my channel. And let's jump in.
I tried the new Dune survival game, and here's everything that happened. What I liked, what I didn't like, and of course, the sandworm.
Wow!
Wow!
And everything you see is a work in progress. Thanks to Funcom for inviting me to the preview event. Character creation began. There was a really good amount of options to choose from. Pretty robust, nothing to complain here. After this, I had to choose the planet where I was born, each one providing different traits. Second, I picked the cast, which seemed to affect dialogue options in the future.
Quick thing, I'm absolutely loving watching all these different gameplays, because everyone's given their own different perspective, and like this person, he's telling you all the different dialogues and stuff, and everyone kind of puts their own spin on it and gives the information that they think is necessary to provide to you to get you to like the game or to know more about the game. So every single person, we can see by the way they're structuring their video, they're all going through it differently. Really cool to point out.
Traits. Second, I picked the cast, which seemed to affect dialogue options in the future. And last but not least, I chose my mentor. This defined which skill tree was available to me at the start, but you can learn anything in the game, no matter your class, if you find the right NPC trainer and do some work for them. I went with the trooper, which gave me an ability to use a cable for traversal. You'll see it in action later. The game began. I was a prisoner on a ship. We were attacked by a rocket launcher, crashing on Arrakis. A masked figure killed the other survivors and dragged my body away.
So this guy's actually showing footage, gameplay footage, that we didn't actually get to see any clips. So the other creators managed to skip this so it didn't spoil anything for us. But at least this way we're actually seeing as well that there is story, in-depth gameplay footage and trailers and scenes and cutscenes. It's really cool to see. So I'm actually glad we're getting this. We're all going to see this when we start a character, when we start a new character. So it doesn't matter if we really see this now. This is not really spoiling too much. They only got to play it for between 6 to 8 hours, and they don't really get to travel that far, even though they get an ornithopter, if that's what you call it, and a bike and stuff like that. Maybe this creator doesn't, and they still don't really get to see much in the map. The world is flipping huge, and the world is constantly changing.
As I lost consciousness. When I woke up, I found myself in a cavern. Injured, I walked forward as I grabbed my chest. I went deeper into the cave and found the corpse with the backpack, a frem kit. After grabbing it, I stumbled upon a membrane blocking my path. By crafting a scrap metal knife, I was able to cut it and advanced. By drinking dew from water plants, I was able to take care of my thirst. Next, I found some plant fiber, which I used to make a heal kit to restore my health. I continued on and climbed up a wall to try and escape the cave. This trained stamina. At the top, I saw a light at the end of the cavern and headed towards it. Everything was burning, destroyed, and I saw the person who saved me was called Zentara. Then, some ships in the sky launched devices that created energy barriers, called Sardaukar nets. We needed to find a flying vehicle to escape. I noticed a unique dialogue option due to my starting class being a trooper. My objective was to enter the destroyed ship, find the captain, and activate a transmitter. I headed towards the ship wreckage. The longer I stayed under the sun, the faster I dehydrated. It was best to stay in the shadows. I found this system to be really...
This is really cool, because we're actually hearing and learning a lot more from this creator than other creators. Now, we have got a couple more videos to go through, but they're all giving their own insight. But at least we're actually learning in this video everything, or I personally am learning a lot more from this video than the other videos. If you haven't seen the other videos, then go over and do that. But maybe they're trying to explore more, so let's continue.
Interesting and unique. I crouched under some debris to avoid overheating before continuing on. Then I saw someone ahead. There were many
I crouch under a shaded area to avoid heating. Continues to stand right next to a fire and a ship that's probably made of some sort of metal. That's going to be like a flipping oven. And this was how you didn't overheat. Nice.
I saw someone ahead. There were many corpses on the ground. I crouched and tried to sneak moving slowly, but I was detected.
Yep, I need to invest. YouTube Premium.
Sealed themselves inside.
I defeated the enemy with my knife and looted their body. They had a power pack and a cut array, which was basically a gathering tool. After equipping it, I scanned the rock, revealing its weak point. By following the pattern, I was able to cut through it. Moving on, the captain's room was locked with an energy shield. I needed to find the key to get through. Further ahead, I encountered a guard. Here, I learned the combat basics, stagger and parry.
Okay, that's pretty cool that we're seeing the melee combat in this as well. But also what I'm curious is how the melee combat works in PvP. Is it like Conan Exiles or is it completely separate? Now there's also gunplay in here and the gunplay looks really cool. But we do know by watching the movies and potentially reading the books that you can get like an overshield in your body. So that's probably going to make a little bit of a difference when it comes to fighting. Maybe that's why you want to use melee. And why you don't want to use guns, because maybe melee is more effective than guns in certain fights, depending how far you are in the game. Who knows?
After the fight, a door opened. The next enemy had a shield. I couldn't damage them with normal attacks. Instead, I had to use slow blade attacks to penetrate the shield.
Oh.
I took care of this, I found the key and activated the transmitter. By luring the authorities to us, we were able to steal one of the flying vehicles to escape. Unfortunately, we crashed. When I woke up, I couldn't find my companion. Centaura contacted me via radio, telling me to run away because the sandworm was coming.
Every time that thing just looks incredible, and I can't wait. You just stand there. Sure.
Figure out how to craft yourself some clothing.
It was time to craft a new set of clothes. After gathering plant fiber, I unlocked the schematic. Once that was done, I made various clothing pieces. I also needed to fabricate a pistol, so I searched for metal scraps and cut them with my tool.
Now, I've pointed this out on many of videos. I really love the way that you cut through certain elements in the world, whether it be rocks or, as we saw that box then, how you scan it and then you find the weak point and cut through it. That to me is very intriguing and it definitely makes the game a lot more immersive and fun.
After unlocking the schematic, I built the gun and some ammo. Lastly, I crafted some binoculars and a respawn beacon. After placing it, I stumbled with another person. We explored the scavenger camp together and looted a chest with resources. Here, I started experimenting with my ability to launch myself to higher places. I was able to jump off cliffs and throw the cable from mid-air, but I messed up once and almost died there. After defeating all the scavengers, I completed my objective. Then, I got my first look at the skill tree. According to what we were told, you could learn any skill without restrictions, as long as you found the right trainer and do some work for them. For the moment, I could only unlock skills from the trooper tree.
So that's really cool to see, because if we just go back a frame, we can see that there's not only the skills that we were seeing on the screen, we've also got the ones that were listed down the bottom. So you've got all of these 3 different parts of your tree. Yeah, all these different branches, but all these different trees down the bottom with different tabs, but you can learn everything. Nice.
Only unlock skills from the trooper tree. I chose the gravity grenade. My next task was to gather resources to craft a construction tool to allow me to build my base. With that in mind.
Now, a lot of people have been saying in the videos that I've been uploading that they're not really liking the way the gameplay looks. They're not liking the way the characters look. They're not liking the way the game looks. I personally think the game looks beautiful. I think the gameplay and the people and the gunplay and everything that we've been seeing looks incredible. What are your thoughts on this? This to me is just W's all around. like I've said in previous videos, 1,000 out of 10. I can't wait. I'm super hyped. I'm basically glazing at this point because there's a lot I'd do to be able to play this game right now. Anyway, so yeah, we're looking at this vast open world, and the building that we are seeing, it looks like you kind of plant an area, whereas in Conan Exiles, you could almost build anywhere as long as you weren't in range of the enemies. Is that because you've got a shield in Conan?
My hands, I built
Dune.
Thief console, which let me construct my own little base. Personally, I found the UI and controls not intuitive at all. I found it uncomfortable to navigate through the menus to find what I needed. Holding mouse buttons to construct didn't feel good at all. Then again, everything in the game is being updated. Days before the event, they changed the blood.
See, now this is the exact same building as in Conan Exiles, and I flipping think the building in Conan Exiles is probably one of the best building systems I've ever seen. So if you guys would like me to go over to Conan Exiles and make some bases and do some gameplay so you can kind of get an understanding of what this game's going to be like. However, this game is 10 times bigger because Conan Exiles is a 54 square kilometer size map, and this is 500 plus, and the map changes every week on Dune Awakening. And the building looks the exact same with what I'm seeing here. So if you want me to show you what the building is actually like, then I don't mind doing so. It's going to be more or less the same. I think it's good. He is saying he doesn't like it. I would disagree.
Purification system, for example. You'll see more about that later. They also told us that there were new melee combat animations that weren't present in the build we were trying. Things like a stealth system were planned for post-launch too.
These blimmin' ads.
While building my base, I died of dehydration. But thankfully, I respawned nearby and recovered my items without a problem. The loot system in Dune Awakening works like this. The main area is PvE, with specific points of interest being PvP areas. If someone kills...
Nice. I did not know how that worked, and I'm glad that he has explained it. So, majority of the area is PvE, but there will be certain points of interest that will be PvP, so you enter at your own risk. But don't be discouraged if you are a PvE player and don't want to play PvP. There is guilds in this game, so make sure you go to the Discord down below and come to the Death Squad, come to the Discord, come chat in there. As soon as we can play this game, we're going to make a guild, a clan, and those who want to build can be builders. Those who want to go and do dungeons can go do dungeons. Those who want to go and survey. The map needs surveying, and if you survey the map, we can then sell the map surveys to people for a good penny to be able to improve our base and everything like that. So we're going to have a whole range of people, and we can all work together to become the ultimate death squad in Dune Awakening.
With specific points of interest being PvP areas. If someone kills you, you don't lose any of your items, just some resources, and I think also money. The only time you lose items is if you die by a sandstorm or by the sandworm.
Interesting. So I'm guessing if you die by a sandstorm, you lose your items because the sand would cover over your items and a sandworm would eat you. So you're never going to recover that because I don't think you can kill a sandworm. Makes sense. And I think that's good because there's always that risk factor that you could lose everything that you have on you. It's probably why you're going to fly out on an ornithocopter. Probably said that wrong.
House, I searched for water to avoid dying again and ended up fighting some scavengers. While taking care of my thirst, I realized eating too many plants seemed to cause nausea, so it wasn't the most efficient way to hydrate myself. I then built a small storage container and a fuel power generator to supply energy to the base's shield. This protected my shelter from sandstorms, otherwise it would get destroyed. My next task was to find a more stable source of hydration. To construct the necessary equipment, I gathered plant fiber and metal. While crafting and gathering, I leveled up, getting a new skill point and unlocking the suspensor dash technique. This was a passive skill, allowing me to dash while suspended in the air. Afterwards, I crafted a blood extractor and a blood sac. This would allow me to get the blood from enemies and then refine it into drinkable water. I killed some bandits and used the extractor on them. However, I died in the process. And this...
I wonder if... You know how we can extract blood and we can consume it, but we can go back to base and filter it? if you drink the blood of someone who's consumed too much spice, would that then affect you if you don't filter it? Even if you do filter it, would you be able to extract the... who knows?
Wouldn't be the only time. Which leads me to the combat, which is something that I felt needed some more work, especially around the enemy AI. I found myself shooting at enemies that stood still without taking much cover or moving too much. But then again, this was the tutorial area. Things change depending on where you are, and enemies get tougher as you advance. I didn't manage to get too far into the game, so maybe that's a thing that improves later. I returned to my base and unlocked the blood purifier. I deposited the blood I had extracted from my enemies into the machine. Skipping a cutscene to avoid spoilers, now I needed to head across the desert. While making my way, I feared the sandworm might appear due to the vibrations of my footsteps. The longer you run and move through the sand, the more likely the worm will hear you. From what we were told, there were about a dozen worms just in this area, every single one of them with their own territory. I kept crossing the desert, always searching for plants to avoid dying from dehydration. Along the way, I came across a scavenger camp, exchanging fire with some enemies.
It looks to me that standing still while shooting is definitely the way forward, because when you're moving around and shooting, you can see the reticle really expands and he's missing a lot of his shots. So there's like a lot of, what's the word? I can't remember the word, but bloom is the word. There's a lot of bloom. So you want to kind of stay stationary when you're shooting.
You are too easy.
That's all right. That's actually all right to me. I don't mind that movement system, or that AI reaction system, especially early on.
I discovered a new location called Keyhole Rock. While exploring, I gathered various resources and intel. Not sure what that was for. Opening a chest, I found a schematic. Unfortunately, my backpack became full from gathering so many things. After wandering for a long time, I reached the cave that seemed to be the right place I needed to reach. After inhaling the spices, I entered some kind of otherworldly place. This was called the First Trial. I was surrounded by a starry sky and strange floating rocks.
Okay, so this is the first time we've seen a trial, and this is interesting to go through.
I ventured deeper and encountered some kind of eye I had to avoid by sneaking behind debris to progress. There were multiple of them. Carefully, I avoided them without much issue until I finally finished the trial. After this, I started to experience the effects of spice. Being exposed to it lets you use new abilities, deal more damage, and gain immunity to poison.
That's awesome.
After experiencing it, there's a period of withdrawal and your tolerance increases, requiring you to wait or consume larger quantities of spice. I decided to return to my base, hiding in the shadows to avoid the heat of the...
So what happens if you're a guild that's farming mass amounts of spice and you're constantly consuming it? Are you ever going to have withdrawal, and are you always going to have all your skills and perks to the max? Maybe the spice farming is the key factor here.
Son, once home, I stored some items in the chest to make some space, and drank directly from the blood purification machine to take care of my thirst. Next, I unlocked the fabricator to construct more items, which let me create my own steel suit. Equipping this armor reduced dehydration by allowing me to drink from catch pockets. Afterwards, I had to meet the person who had been helping me via radio this whole time. To do this, I needed to construct a survey probe launcher to map the area. To accomplish this, I built an ore refinery and refined the copper ore to make the surveying kit, and to use it, I had to climb and get to high ground, finally firing the survey probe launcher.
This is the survey and I was on about.
The area mapped out, my next goal was to reach Griffin's Reach trade post. To get there, I had to move from rock to rock, avoiding the sandworm. I stumbled upon a camp of scavengers and fought them. While trying to cross the desert, the sandworm appeared.
That is so flipping cool, man.
But I managed to reach safety. I had a second encounter with the sandworm and stopped to contemplate it. After a long while, I finally arrived at Griffin.
Do you know what I've seen though? With the sandworm, that didn't react to him. So when he crossed then, the sandworm wasn't based on him. Maybe that sandworm was coming up to another player. So every time a sandworm comes out of the sand, you might go, oh damn, this player's close. Pretty cool indicator.
Griffin's Reach trade post.
Precedes me even here. That at the arse end of the Haga Basin.
This, I believe, is one.
Board, I found a few quests. 2 of them required a vehicle, so I grabbed the third one to deliver some copper. The next main objective was to purchase a schematic for an object that was basically a water container. I spoke to a merchant who seemed to sell components, gear, and ammo, and also discovered someone else who offered to fly me to other locations, but I didn't have enough money, so I bought the schematic and left the place. On my way out, I found a destroyed flying vehicle and looted everything I could. I crossed to another rocky area, got me killed. Respawning back at my base, I found some space in my backpack and prepared several healing items. A while later, I saw a flying ship in the sky. When I stopped to watch it, they suspended me, freezing me in place.
And what I was going to say before, that was one of many trading posts. I mean, he's pretty good at dodging because they were semi-accurate at shooting. Okay, got hit then. Oh no, you don't want to be challenging them, bro. You need to get out of that torch. Get away from that goddamn thing. These guys are OP.
After escaping, I reached some kind of wreckage and went inside, finding some scavengers. I shot at them, but ran out of ammo. So I decided to switch to my knife, trying to take them by surprise where I could.
Swordplay looks just like Conan. Looks good, looks decent. There's a lot of ads in this flipping video.
And I was really
Exploring further, I stumbled upon some sort of hologram of the planet and a chest next to it. After searching the entire ship for the materials I needed and fighting some more enemies, I scanned the door and broke it apart with my laser tool, which led me to the last chest containing what I needed, as well as some new clothes. Next objective was to gather copper and plant fiber. After gathering all the resources, I unlocked the schematics for new gear, armor, rifle, and a blade. Back at my base,
Yeah, again, I'm using Conan Exiles as an example for a lot of this. Conan Exiles, you get schematics from doing dungeons, killing bosses, or just find them throughout the world by looting in random places like treasure, even by learning them. So it's good that we're seeing all these elements in here, the ones that work, the ones that made the game better, the ones that made the games unique. It's really good to see, and it's definitely what we're used to in survivor games, even the likes of Ark, when you upgrade your copper axe to a steel axe, stuff like that. It's nice to see it.
I refined copper and crafted everything. At this point, our time with the demo build was coming to an end. And here's when things went crazy. The developers gave us access to ornithopters, the flying vehicle.
Ornithopters, right, I've been saying it wrong.
Fun.
Oh, these look so good, man. The world looks so good.
They were hard to craft. They are more of a light.
Okay, adept light ornithopter. Oh, so you get different materials, different wings, different... oh, wow. He's even got an empty module slot on there. This is really cool that we're seeing all this. Obviously, we're seeing the fuel. We're seeing if it's sheltered, unsheltered. And we're seeing what it's got on it. But that is flipping awesome that we can actually upgrade our ornithopters to make them better. Wow.
Game thing. This was just to have a quick taste.
Look at that base that someone built. Oh, wow.
At one point, I wanted to see how high I could go.
High altitude, increased fuel consumption. Okay.
And by mistake...
No! No! That wrong button. No, I'm dead.
Shortly after...
No way, that's so unlucky.
Wow!
No flipping way!
Came. If you get eaten by it, you lose absolutely everything you carry with you. This is what makes it a real danger. No matter if you're a low or high level, everything you carry is gone. And this was the smallest sandworm in the game. In the deep desert, they're so big, they can eat whole ornithopters.
Question. Do we think we will be able to lasso onto the sandworms at some point in the game and ride them? If you haven't seen the movies, I don't know what I'm talking about. No spoilers here. Let me know what you think.
Finally, this was the most unhinged thing I experienced in the demo. While running around in my underwear, the sandworm was circling around me, while at the same time another player was flying close by and spotted me. Quickly, they landed their vehicle to rescue me, but there was no space left in the interior. So, instead, I tried to jump on top of it, which surprisingly worked perfectly.
I don't know what's happening, but it's working. Holy crap.
The view from up top was amazing. I feel that playing with friends will probably be the most fun way to experience the game, just because of things like this. We kept flying until reaching an invisible wall and dropped me right into the quicksand, where I had a slow death.
Hope you enjoyed.
Lastly, at the end of the demo, an alert came up. A sandstorm was coming.
Oh my god. They look way better here than they do in Conan. What does it look like when you're in a sandstorm? Wow, there's layers to that sandstorm. That looks so cool. Yo! Oh, it chomps that health. Oh, he survived it. He survived it. No way.
These are my first impressions of the demo build I tried. Graphics, sound design, music, and cutscenes are all really good. Amazing atmosphere. The sandstroke mechanic is unique, and the sandworm.
So there we go. A lot of people have been saying that the graphics don't look great. Remember, we are looking at other people's recordings. The recording quality is never perfect. When you play a game for yourself, it is 10 times better in terms of quality. Not 10 times, 2-3 times better in terms of quality. So yeah, also go off of everything that you've seen with a pinch of salt. And remember, the size of this world is massive. The lobbies are going to be quite big. So, and it's still in beta. So the game is going to look beautiful. Trust me on that.
Is terrifying and fun to play around with. There seems to be a place for solo PvE players, which I really like. The UI needs to be improved. It wasn't intuitive for me, specifically in base building. Holding mouse button to build a blueprint didn't feel good, and I feel the menus could be better. Loading was also cumbersome when trying to see all the loot, blocking my view and making me vulnerable to enemies. Accessing the hotbar and reorganizing items was frustrating, and some crafting stations, like the blood purifier, were not intuitive to use. Besides the UI, other systems still have quite some jank. Climbing was unreliable, and enemy AI was a bit stiff, especially in ranged attackers, who would sometimes just shoot standing still in the open. But all in all, I left the demo wanting to play more. If they focus on improving its weak spots, I think this could be a really solid survival game. Be sure to wishlist the game on Steam and sign up for the beta test if you're interested in trying it yourself. Thank you for watching.
So the link for his channel is down in the description. Make sure you go over there and subscribe and like if you like the video, and obviously go and support him out. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I've still got many more videos to come, so keep an eye out on my channel. Put that notification bell on if you want to watch more content like this. Hopefully you enjoyed. Like, follow, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace, Death Squad.